Move over, Florida, because there's a new number one retirement destination in America, and it's not where you would expect. It's actually Las Vegas, Nevada, and that place with slot machines and grocery stores and Elvis weddings on every corner. And the thing is, it's not just for tourists anymore. And I've been living in Las Vegas for the past 14 years. And according to the people who have been living here a lot longer than me, that officially makes me one of them. And they say you earn that badge after 10 years, and I'm good with that. And I have seen this city transform. And when I first moved here, the skyline was smaller, the traffic was lighter, and the housing was, let's just say, a lot more forgiving. I bought my very first house for $120,000, and I'm never going to find that price again. But what has not changed is the energy of this place. Vegas has this weird way of making you feel like you're part of something alive. So today, I want to talk about why Las Vegas has quietly become the number one retirement destination in the country, what life here is really like, and why so many people are packing up their lives and heading for the desert. And just to clear up a big misconception, you don't have to live anywhere near the strip. I live about 30 minutes away, and trust me, it's more peaceful. And no flashing lights, no crowds, no sound of slot machines ringing at 3 a.m. I've got mountain views, quiet streets, and enough space to actually hear myself think. So why are retirees suddenly choosing Las Vegas over Florida or Arizona? Well, let's look at what's really going on. According to a recent study, Nevada is the seventh most popular state for retirees to move to. In 2023 alone, the state saw a net migration of over 5,700 retirees, and a huge chunk of them landed right here in the Las Vegas Valley. In fact, four of the top 10 cities for retirees are suburbs of Vegas: North Las Vegas, Paradise, Spring Valley, Summerlin, and Henderson. Each of those places saw a net gain of over 1,000 people aged 60 and older just last year. And when you look at the numbers, it's all starting to make sense. This is not just a small trend, it's a full-blown migration. If you look at the population data for the Las Vegas metro area, the growth is just staggering. Back in 2022, the population was around 2.839 million people. And fast forward to today, in 2025, and we're sitting well over 3 million people. And that's a 5.67% jump in just a few years. So the big question is, where are all these people coming from? Well, if you guessed California, you're right. We've had 132,000 residents move to Las Vegas, primarily from California, due to cheaper housing and the lower cost of living. The pipeline between California and Nevada is flowing strongly. Now, if you take a look at the data from U-Haul Rentals and DMV license surrenders, you will see that for the first half of 2024, the number one origin city for people moving to Vegas was Los Angeles. It was followed by Phoenix, the Bay Area, and San Diego. And the data is pretty clear because those 158,000 people from California make up a whopping 43% of all new residents. Think about that for a second. Almost half the new people you meet here likely just came from California. But let's be honest, the biggest reason people are making a move to Vegas has nothing to do with the weather and everything to do with the money. But once you see the financial benefits, you will understand why. And for one, the biggest and perhaps the most beautiful perk is that Nevada has no state income tax. Let me say that again. Zero state income tax. And that means your retirement income, your pension, your 401k withdrawals, and even your Social Security benefits are not touched by the state. So people who defer their state income taxes with their 401k in California or other states with an income tax can potentially save that in retirement when they move to a state like Nevada that has no state income tax. Now, let's put this in perspective by looking at our neighbors. If you're retiring in California, you're looking at a top state income tax rate of 12.3%. If you're a single person living on a $100,000 retirement income, you're looking at paying an effective tax rate of 25.37% when you combine it with the federal income tax. But just saving the state income tax, that could be the money back in your pocket every single year, which could mean a new car, a couple of incredible vacations, or just a much healthier savings account, and stretch your dollars further in places like Las Vegas. And as for Utah, the state's marginal tax rate is 4.55%. And in Oregon, the rate is 9.9%. And even in states people consider tax friendly, like Arizona, you're still paying 2.5%. Then you add property taxes into the mix, and that's another win for Vegas. Nevada's average property tax rate sits around 0.48%, which is significantly lower than California's 0.75%, Utah's 0.6%, Oregon's 0.9%, and Arizona's 0.6%. And it doesn't sound like a lot on paper, but when you're talking about a 400,000 or $500,000 home, those numbers add up quickly. And of course, life is not all about taxes. You have to actually live here, right? So, what about the cost of living? Overall, Las Vegas is about 2% cheaper than that national average. Now, I have to be honest, it's actually a mixed bag. Your groceries might be about 4% higher than average, and your utility bills, especially in the summer months when that AC is blasting, are about 9% higher. But there's healthcare, which makes up for it in a big way. The cost in Las Vegas is a staggering 16% lower than the national average. In fact, a typical doctor's visit is around $122 on average. And that's a massive savings that really adds up over time. And as a veteran myself, I have to give a shout out to our VA hospital here. It's a world class facility, and I would honestly argue it is one of the best in the entire country. And beyond the VA, the city has fantastic hospitals, so you're covered with top tier medical care. Then there's also the housing market. The average home value in Las Vegas is around $430,000. That price is very high for locals who have been here for quite a while with a median household income of $70,000. But for the folks moving from out of state, it's a bargain because you can buy a beautiful 3,000 square foot home in a great neighborhood like Summerlin or Henderson for maybe between $600,000 and $900,000. So if you're selling a 1,200 square foot tear down in Los Angeles for over $1 million or $2 million, coming here is going to make you feel like you have won the lottery, right? The biggest complaint I hear from longtime residents is that they are being priced out of the housing market because inventory is still considered low and California cash is pretty much king. However, it is worth noting that in 2025, the Vegas housing market is actually seeing one of the fastest declines in prices in the country. So things might be balancing out just a bit. Now, let's talk about the fun part. What's life actually like once you're here? And I've been in Vegas for 14 years, and let me tell you, there's so much to do. The biggest misconception people have is that life here revolves around the strip, and it doesn't. In fact, most locals rarely go there to the strip unless they've got family or friends visiting. I live about 30 minutes away, and my day to day life here looks nothing like what you see on those TV shows or tourist ads. And my wife and I have our favorite local restaurants, parks, and hiking spots. And every year we make a little tradition out of staying at a different hotel for a weekend and just to mix it up. And I actually proposed to my wife at Jean George's Steakhouse at the Aria, and it's still one of my favorite restaurants in town to this day. And we make it a point to have a staycation and stay at a different hotel on the strip once a year and just to enjoy the amenities like tourists. And we don't go to shows often, but the ones we have seen are pretty good in my opinion. And if you're into food, the Chinatown here is just incredible with authentic spots and a great variety and honestly some of the best meals I've ever had. And Las Vegas is no longer just the entertainment capital of the world because it's becoming one of the greatest sports capitals of America. And think about it, in just the past 5 years, this city has gone from boxing matches and UFC fights to hosting a Super Bowl and Stanley Cup finals. And the Vegas Golden Knights already won a Stanley Cup. They've already gone to the finals twice, and I go to their games all the time. The Raiders are struggling to win, but their Allegiant Stadium is a landmark just right off the strip. And I'm a Raiders season ticket holder, and people always want to buy my tickets to see the stadium more than the team itself. And the Las Vegas Aces have dominated the WNBA for a bit, and Vegas last year hosted the Formula One, the NFL Draft, and even the Super Bowl, like I mentioned earlier. And this is only the beginning. With the Oakland A's getting ready to move to Vegas in 2028 and another strong talk of an NBA expansion team, Vegas is slowly becoming a true sports city. I plan to get season tickets with the A's too. But if you're not into sports and you like casinos, but you also don't want to deal with the crowds, there are plenty of great local options like Red Rock Casino in Summerlin is a favorite. Aliante Casino and Santa Fe Station are popular with the locals too. Now, you're probably curious, so I might as well just tell you that, yes, I know how to gamble. I've played craps, blackjack, Texas Hold'em, but truth be told, I rarely do. And I will play when friends come into town and just for the experience and throw some money on the hard eights. And that's the nice thing about living here. You're around to entertainment, but you do not have to be part of it 24/7. Now, I would not be giving you the full picture if I did not talk about the downsides. And there are a couple of big ones. First and foremost, the heat. There's no sugarcoating it. It is brutally hot in the summer. As soon as May hits, you are looking at temperatures in the 90s. From June until August, you can pretty much expect triple digit heat every single day. About a year or two ago, we hit 121 degrees, and that's not just hot. That is questioning your life choices hot. But you learn to live differently. You do your yard work at 6 a.m., run your errands at night, and you appreciate the power of a good air conditioning system. You get used to it, but it's definitely an adjustment. And another downside is that the traffic in Vegas has gotten worse over the past 5 years. It is one of the fastest growing populations in the country, but that growth comes with a challenge because the congestion has gotten worse. And I've noticed that the commutes take longer and there are way more accidents because some people just drive like complete idiots. And our roads, highways, and public transportation have struggled to keep up with the population growth. And the other major drawback is the public school system. The Clark County School District, or CCSD, has struggled for years. And if you're thinking of moving here and have kids or grandkids who might live with you, or if you're just someone who values a strong community educational foundation, this is something you need to be aware of. A recent report says that during the 2023-2024 school year, only about 30% of eighth graders in the district were proficient in math, and that's lower than the already low Nevada state average. The district has faced budget shortfalls and a revolving door of leadership, which has created a lot of instability. A local parent shared his frustration about his son, a high school freshman, saying he does not feel like his teachers spend enough time explaining the work. And I feel like when he gets a bad grade, it's kind of expected. And that's a heartbreaking thing for a parent to say. But I can also vouch for that statement as a parent of a 13-year-old in eighth grade. For retirees, this might not be a direct issue, but it impacts the community as a whole, from property values to the future workforce. The bottom line is that Las Vegas, after all, is an entertainment city. So when you put it all together, is Las Vegas the perfect retirement paradise? No, nowhere is. It has its challenges, just like any other city. The summer heat is intense, and the school system needs major work. But for a retiree focused on stretching their dollars, staying active, and having access to great healthcare and world-class entertainment and sports, the pros are incredibly compelling. And the financial benefits of having no state income tax alone are enough to change your entire retirement outlook. You can live a very high quality life here for a fraction of what it would cost in many other major cities. You get the sun, the savings, and a never ending list of things to do, both on and off the famous strip. It is a city that's constantly evolving, and right now it is evolving into a true haven for retirees. Let me know in the comment section down below about your Vegas experience, unless you want to keep whatever happened in Vegas to stay in Vegas. And this has been another beast of a video, and we got a lot out of it.